Hey everyone, I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Friday, April 6th, 2018. Now what we've got going on today is the moon hanging out right here in Sagittarius, the very beginning of the day. Bringing our attention, of course, to doing something new we have not done before, traveling, studying, learning something, as well as trying to make sense of our life in some way and just figuring out how we can be more optimistic and live a better life coming in here with Sagittarius, okay? So I think that's what's going on. Now, what we have at 6 a.m. this morning, Mountain Time, the first aspect of the day is this moon in Sagittarius making a trine over here to Uranus and Aries. And I think what that can bring up here, 6 a.m., is perhaps some unexpected things that occur. Either someone does something unexpected to you, or you yourself do something unexpected. Perhaps you want to break free from some things that are holding you back, okay, which could come into play at 6 a.m. if you're awake, which I guess will be, what, 8 a.m. On the East Coast? So that could come in there. What you could also get here at 6 a.m. Mountain Time is maybe some unexpected insights in some way, or just kind of, a lot of times with Uranus, some unique solutions to things that have been going on, all right? Especially since we've got a moon here in Sagittarius, so I think we're doing lots of thinking, trying to understand our life better, figure out what's going on coming in, and I think this trine to Uranus could maybe kickstart you to help you get some more of the information that it is that you need, especially after sitting with some stuff spiritually yesterday. Uranus can really bring some unique insights, some unique solutions to help you make sense of your life, do something new, expand your life, figure out what you need in order to be happier or live a better life in some way, okay? So I do like that for the most part, coming in at 6 a.m., either something unexpected happening to you or you getting a chance to understand what it is that you need to feel more uniquely yourself in a way that you really like, to break free from some things that are holding you back here and to get some unique insight or solution with what is going on, all right? So that's what I see there. Now, 4 hours after that, at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, the moon comes off of this trine to Uranus, more or less, it's still kind of close, and comes into a square here now with Chiron, all right? So that could bring up, with Chiron involved in a square being a hard aspect, some hurt or uncomfortable feelings, perhaps, in regards to some new insight that you have, some kind of unique solution in some way, okay? So that could be a little bit difficult after. I think we get some answers, you know, whether or not they're positive might depend on what's going on in your chart, but I think we do get some insight, some solution, some kind of thing comes up that sheds more information, more light on a situation of ours. And then when we get the square over here to Chiron, maybe it's uncomfortable, these things that we've realized, or this unexpected news that comes in. Maybe now we're not quite sure how to use it to move forward with this unexpected insight. Maybe it's uncomfortable. It's out of our comfort zone. It's not something we ever thought we would be doing or had to deal with in some way. And maybe that is the hard part here, coming in with the square to Chiron, okay? And I think the message of this is to keep moving forward on this unexpected insight, to accept this unexpected thing into your life for whatever it is, whatever you've realized, whatever has happened, and to learn how to use it to get more comfortable with it, to overcome any hard feelings, and to move forward with it, to overcome the past, to step into new chapters with this insight coming in, okay? So that's what I see is going on, especially with Chiron here at 29 degrees. I think we're really just trying to, especially this month, like forge the way into new chapters, new emotional states, new experiences that we haven't experienced before, hopefully that are better for us in some way. And I think what you have to do here is to keep pushing forward, taking these unique insights, solutions, even if they're uncomfortable, even if you're not quite sure what they, you know, all mean. I think really needing to move forward on them anyways, to hopefully kickstart your life and help you come into new chapters, all right? So that's what's going on there. Then 2 hours later, noon, Mountain Time, the moon comes more or less off this aspect and enters Capricorn, all right? And it's actually going to stay in Capricorn, the moon, at the very beginning degrees, not making any aspects for the rest of the day. So what goes on at noon is, after we get these unexpected insights, or these unexpected things happen, or these unique solutions, then we have to figure out with the moon in Capricorn how to take all this information, even if it hurts, even if we're not comfortable with it, even if we don't quite know exactly what's going on and feeling a little pulled back by the past, needing to take all of these these insights and figure out how we can think more about the future. Uranus, of course, being very future-minded, and really, again, with the moon coming into Capricorn, we have to figure out how to take these unexpected insights and build on them and use them to our advantage, regardless if they're good or bad, regardless if we feel good or bad about them, you know, which they could definitely feel a little bit uncomfortable with the square to Chiron coming in, but really needing with the moon in Capricorn for most of the day to try to figure out, to think about, to let it ruminate in your mind how you can take all of this stuff that has come up the past few days, especially about your life, about what you want, about things that have been going on, maybe some conversations, and to take it and to use it to create a life off of this unexpected thing, to create a life that you feel more authentically yourself in, that you really like, that can put your life in a better place. And I think that's what we're trying to figure out for most of the day, afternoon, mountain time. All right, because the moon is not making any aspects, and between noon today and midnight today into tomorrow, you may not get much done. There may not be many successful things that happen. You may not feel super productive, but I think if you can just take the time to try to, you know, work things over in your mind, process things emotionally, to try to figure out how you can forge the way into new territories. Maybe I'll name my video that, how you can forge your way into new territories here and really sustain this and really use these new unexpected things to move you forward. I think if you just think about that, and if you just sit with it, and if you just not pressure yourself too much to get things done, to make things happen, and to put things in the boxes that you want, I think eventually you're gonna use this or be able to understand better what's been going on and take these unexpected things that have occurred to do something with them, okay? Even if you don't feel like that's happening today. All right. So that's what's going on there. Then just to give you the peek into tomorrow, at midnight tonight into tomorrow, the moon's going to move further through Capricorn, and it's going to come into a square over here with Mercury, which is basically the aspect we were feeling earlier this week. Because the Mercury was in a square to Saturn, the moon's about to come on top of Saturn. So I think what that could bring up at midnight tonight into tomorrow is maybe some hard conversations, maybe it being hard for us to think about our feelings. Logically we want one thing, but emotionally we're in another place in some way. Our emotions here in Capricorn, wanting to build, wanting to think about our future, wanting to live a life that really can work for us here, and Mercury and Aries wanting to just do things, wanting to go, and really having to figure out here at midnight how to get a handle on your thoughts, how to get a handle on your emotions, so that you can hopefully bring the two together, understand emotionally what you're thinking logically and understand logically what you're feeling, so that you can start to build something in your life, move forward doing something that really resonates with you, okay? And I think most of the day while the moon was in Capricorn, not making any aspects, we were just kind of like trying to figure out, what does all this stuff mean that's happened to me lately, this unexpected insight or whatever, how can I use it to my advantage? And then I think at midnight tonight into tomorrow, you actually begin to start to think more seriously about it. The mind starts to engage. Maybe you feel more pressured, more decisions that it is that you have to make in order to really begin to put your life in the right place, doing something that you like, okay? And I think that's what's coming in for most of the day. We're kind of just like, what is going on? How do I take this unexpected thing and make it work for me? Maybe not making much progress on it. And then at midnight, finally you're like, okay, I gotta get serious about this. I gotta think more seriously about this. I have some serious roadblocks perhaps that are coming in that are preventing me from understanding how I can use all of this stuff to my advantage. And I think at midnight's when you really have to start to figure out how to get your like heart and your mind on the same page, so that you can really start to do the things you need to do, build a new life based on this unexpected thing that has come up, but build this new life in a way that really can work for you, and help you, and build a life doing something that also resonates with you as well on the inside, and just figuring out how to bring that together, okay? While that's going on, tomorrow morning, 4 a.m., the moon is going to be in a trine with Venus too, and it's going to come over Saturn. So there's going to be a lot of things that go on tomorrow, kind of running into some of our issues that we've been facing lately. But the moon's going to come into a trine with Venus around the same time that this square to Mercury is going to happen a few hours later. Even if we're having problems wrapping our mind around what we need to do, how we can put our life in the right direction, even if we don't want to, do the responsibility, take on the responsibility that we need to do some important things. I think the moon in a trine to Venus and the moon on top of Saturn, which is going to come in again very early tomorrow morning after we've been sitting with things all day, is really going to say, look, I know there are things that you want to do in Aries. I know that there are things that that maybe excite you. I know maybe you're feeling like there's a lot of work in life and a lot of responsibility, but you have to do the work. You have to do the responsibility. And I think the moon in Capricorn is trying to tell you for today, even if we don't understand it until tomorrow morning, that even if there are lots of things that you want, even if there are lots of things that are really, really important to you that you want to do, you have to figure out how to work towards them. You have to figure out how to bring more stability in your life. You have to figure out how to move your life in the right direction, whether or not it's what you really want in the moment with Aries, whether it's not, like, whether it's something that really currently like gives you the passion and excitement that it is that you want. You know, I think the moon in Sagittarius the past few days was helping you to understand what excites you, and the moon in Capricorn is saying, okay, well, now you got to put in the work to do it. And the trine to Venus is saying you got to figure out what you value. You got to move forward on it, even if it's not the most sexy, even if it's not the most exciting thing in the world. Like the moon in Capricorn in the next few days with the trine to Venus and making all these squares to Aries, now I'm making my chart messy, is saying sometimes you got to do the things you don't want to do to get to where it is that you ultimately want to go. And the trine to Uranus today is helping you to understand, while the moon's still in Sagittarius, what really does excite you, what you do really want in some way, so that when the moon gets in Capricorn, you can start to do the work to understand what work needs to be done in order to make it happen. And I think that's what we're trying to figure out. And with Uranus coming in, which I really like, now that I'm thinking about it, with Uranus coming in, especially with the moon moving into Saturn, you know, and Uranus and Saturn rule Aquarius. So I think the answer that you need here is going to be an unusual one. Like if you're feeling like coming at the end of today into tomorrow, like I can't do this thing that makes me happy. I want to be happy, but I'm over here. I have responsibilities over here. I think Uranus is saying you got to find a way to break free from this like old thing you've been doing, these old patterns, this like old rat race. You got to find a way that's unusual, that's different, that you haven't thought about, in order to be happy, enjoy your life, do what it is that sets you free, and in order to move forward on it. Okay. And I like thinking of the Uranian Aquarian kind of energy, the Saturn Uranus thing. You have to figure out how to be inventive, how to do what you do in ways you haven't done before, that can incorporate yourself, who you are authentically, but will allow you to put the work in a way that's more freeing. And I think that's what you're trying to figure out most of the day with the void moon, that you may not get anywhere with, that tomorrow you're going to have to make more decisions about, think more seriously about, and put some more of the work in, do more of the Saturn thing than maybe you want. But if you take today to think in different ways, to come up with unique solutions, to try things differently than you have before, I think that's going to help you when it comes tomorrow to putting in the work and to making the decisions. It's going to help you figure out what you need to do and how you need to bring it all together, and how you can feel more free doing some of the work and not feel so weighed down by it. All right, I'll leave that there. Hopefully that helps. Now other stuff going on in the background. Venus in a trine with Saturn that I did just mention coming in. Venus in a trine with Saturn saying, okay, time to get to work, time to do things, time to narrow your options down, pick a few things that really excite you, and time to get to work building them. I know you want to be happy. I know you want to be excited, but sometimes in order to be excited, you need to get to work. All right, that's what Venus and Saturn is saying. And it's saying work, especially with Venus involved, it's saying work can actually be very enjoyable. You can like to work. And work can be very good for you, or if you're doing something you like. Okay, and really I think needing to make sure that what you're working towards is something that you like, because if you like what you're doing, even if it's hard work, even if it kind of sucks to do it, you're going to do it anyways because you enjoy what you're doing. All right, I think there's just a lot of that coming in with the Venus and the trine to Saturn, with some other things going on, needing to figure out how to put in the work in your life. Big theme I'm just feeling. Gonna have to figure out how to put in the work in your life to build something, but you have to enjoy your work. You have to figure out how to feel happy and how to create structures in your life that really can help you express yourself the most authentically. Okay, with Venus coming into a square with the nodes as well, finding that stability, figuring out what's important to you, starting to build something in a more practical way that's more secure for you instead of focusing on your passions is going to be super important. Not saying that your passion's not important, just saying right now stability, money, confidence, values, prioritizing is starting to get increasingly more important with Venus and with a lot of planets moving into Taurus. Okay, you also still have Mercury in a square with Saturn, even though Mercury's retrograding back out of that. Hard conversations, hard decisions, needing to think very seriously about your life and about where it's going. What else? The sun also coming into a square with Pluto, even though that's going to take a few more days, bringing up some big changes here in your identity and who you think you are. Maybe you don't realize it yet. Maybe you're starting to realize it with the Uranus thing. You may have to make some changes to who you thought you were, to where you see your life going, and to how you do things in order to start to build more stability into your life, hopefully doing something eventually that really does resonate with you. All right. We also do have Mars as well, as it moves further through Capricorn, coming into a sextile with Neptune, saying, look, if you can do the work here, you can put your life in the right direction, you're going to ultimately feel better about what's happening. You just have to figure out how to do the work. With Mars coming into a square with the sun, you just have to figure out how to be happy doing the work, how to be happy putting the effort in, how to be happy sticking with something all the way through the end, even if you don't like it in the moment. All right. And I think that's what we're trying to figure out now, especially with a new moon starting to come in a week or so, the beginning, I think, of the 2018 year, the beginning of Saturn and Capricorn. I think we're really having to figure out now how to do work, how to do the Capricorn thing, the Saturn thing, how to build something in our life, and how to have fun doing it, even if sometimes doing the work ain't always the most appealing. All right. So that's what I see going on there. Maybe I'll just leave it there so I don't make this video too long. Jupiter as well in a sextile with Pluto, to helping you to make positive changes in your life to move forward. So even if you're feeling like, I don't know how to enjoy what I'm doing, how to bring it all together, I think there's more support that you have than you think you do, even though it may require some forward thinking, some hard decisions and choices, and some changes, some more changes that you may have to make in your life in order to do things better. All right, so I'll just leave that there. Now your card for the day. Oh, I love it. It's the 5. It's the 5 of Pentacles reversed. Coming out of a hard time. I think that's what this card is saying. Time for you, again, forge your way into new territories, come into new chapters of your life, putting in the work, doing something that you love. And I think that's what you're trying to figure out with the trine to Uranus. How can I break free to come out of some hard time, to live a life that I feel better in, that I like, that's more authentic to me? And I think there's a real chance for you to do that today if you don't revert to old patterns, if you don't revert to old ways of thinking, if you try to do things differently, okay, than you have before. And if you try to move forward here, yeah, in different ways, I think there's a chance for us to come into entirely new chapters, especially at this new moon and Aries conjunct Uranus. Things are going to be different in a big way, I think, by the end of this month. And I think now we're just starting to understand it, what exactly it all means and where things are going. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.